Welcome to Savannah Chronicles, the place where forgotten histories rise again, where ancient footsteps echo across time, and where the legends of warriors, known and unknown, are brought back to life. Today, we journey across continents, centuries, and civilizations to uncover one of humanity's oldest forces, the warrior. Before stories were written, before kingdoms had crowns, before iron kissed the anvil for the first time, there was survival. The earliest humans stood in a world of shadows, where predators ruled the plains and nature dictated every breath. It was here that the first warriors were born, not out of glory, but necessity. The earliest warriors did not think of honor or victory. They thought of food, shelter, and safety. Their weapons were bones, stones, sharpened sticks, and later the first crude spears. Every battle was a battle for life. Archaeologists have discovered ancient burial sites, tens of thousands of years old, where early humans were buried with weapons. The positioning of their bodies, the marks on their bones, and the wear on their tools show one thing clearly: humanity learned to survive by learning to fight. The warrior was not a profession, it was an identity. These early humans formed groups, bands, tribes, protective circles of people who hunted together, defended each other, and built the foundations of what would eventually become civilizations. With every threat faced, with every battle fought, the warrior evolved. As centuries passed, warfare became more than reaction, it became strategy, and thus began the true age of warriors. When the first cities rose in Mesopotamia, so did the first structured warriors. The rise of agriculture brought food, food brought settlements, and settlements needed protection. Sumerian warriors, the first soldiers of Earth. In Sumer, warriors fought in tight formations with spears and shields made of wood and leather. They marched under the scorching sun along the mud brick walls of Uruk and Kish, defending waterways and fertile lands. Records carved onto stone tablets show the earliest known tactics, ranks, and military organization. They were no longer hunters or tribesmen, they were soldiers. Egyptian warriors, guardians of the Nile. In Egypt, the warrior took a different shape. The desert was both enemy and protector, but threats came from Lydians, Nubians, Hittites, and rival pharaohs. Egyptian warriors mastered chariot warfare, composite bows, and bronze-tipped spears. They understood discipline, order, and style, marching in lines covered in gold and leather armor, their shields painted with the symbols of the gods. At Kadesh, one of the largest chariot battles in history, thousands of warriors clashed in dust and chaos. These were battles of ambition and empire building, warriors as instruments of divine kings. Greece, honor, courage, and philosophy of war. Among all ancient civilizations, Greece transformed the warrior into an ideal. Spartans, the living weapon. From childhood, Spartan boys entered the agoge, a brutal training system designed to remove weakness. They belonged to the state, not their families. Their lives were dedicated to combat, discipline, and sacrifice. A Spartan warrior was taught fear is a choice, pain is an illusion, death is acceptable, cowardice is not. At Thermopylae, 300 Spartans held off thousands of Persian warriors. It was not the battle that defined them, it was the mindset. They fought not to win, but to inspire. Athenians, warriors of mind and strategy. Unlike Spartans, Athenians valued thought as much as strength. They created fleets, naval formations, and strategic maneuvers like the famous victory at Marathon. For them, being a warrior did not exclude being a thinker, artist, or leader. In Greece, the warrior was becoming a symbol of balance. Persia, warriors of empire and order. Persia built one of the greatest empires of the ancient world, and at its heart stood the Immortals, 10,000 elite soldiers who were instantly replaced when killed, maintaining their terrifying number. They wore scale armor, wicker shields, spear and bow, symbolic tiaras. The Immortals marched under kings who demanded loyalty and offered wealth in return. Their discipline made them legendary. Their structure made Persia unstoppable. India, warriors of faith, destiny, and empire. India's warrior history is vast, layered with religion, philosophy, and epic storytelling. Kshatriya, warriors by birth. In the ancient Vedic system, the Kshatriya caste was created for war, leadership, and
and justice. Their earliest stories appear in the Mahabharata and Ramayana, where warriors like Arjuna and Rama embodied discipline and divine guidance. Mauryan Empire and war elephants. Chandragupta Maurya and later Ashoka built armies with war elephants, archers, infantry, and chariots. The sight of armored elephants crashing into enemy lines became a symbol of unstoppable force in ancient warfare. Rajputs, warriors of honor. Rajputs lived and died by the code of Rajodharma, valor, loyalty, and pride. Their stories echo through desert forts, battlefields, and poetry. China, strategy, discipline, and the art of war. China reshaped the concept of war through intellect. Sun Tzu, the mind of a warrior. In The Art of War, Sun Tzu wrote, quote, "The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting," end quote, and, quote, "Know thyself and know thy enemy," end quote. This transformed warriors from fighters into thinkers. Terracotta warriors. Qin Shi Huang built an army of clay, 8,000 life-size warriors, each unique, each ready for war in the afterlife. Their armor, hair, poses, and weapons reveal China's early mastery of military organization. Shaolin monks, by blending spirituality with combat, they created a warrior who fought without hatred, a rare idea in history. Rome, builders of legions and empire. The Roman legionary was one of history's most efficient warriors. They trained relentlessly, marched long distances, and built roads, bridges, and forts as they advanced. A Roman legionary carried a pilum, throwing spear, a gladius, short sword, a scutum, a large shield, and armor of metal plates. Rome's strength was not just individual skill, it was the machine of war they created. Their formations, testudo, wedge, and manipular system broke armies across Europe, Africa, and Asia. The Vikings, warriors of sea and shadow. From the icy shores of Scandinavia came warriors who became legend. Who were the Vikings? They were explorers, raiders, traders, and settlers. Their longships cut through oceans like knives through water. They fought with axes, spears, shields, and swords. Their raids were swift, brutal, and devastating. Yet they were not just destroyers. They were builders of settlements and cultures. Viking code. Courage, loyalty, and honor governed their actions. To die with glory meant entry into Valhalla. Africa. Warriors of kingdoms and savannas. African warfare is diverse and powerful. Zulu warriors. Under Shaka Zulu, the Zulu military evolved into a devastating force. He introduced short stabbing spear, a ikala, cowhide shields, and a horn formation. The discipline and unity of the Zulu made them feared by colonial powers. Nubian archers. Known as the bowmen of the Nile, Nubians were elite marksmen who shaped Egyptian and African warfare. Samurai. Warriors of spirit and steel. Japan gave the world one of the most iconic warrior classes, the samurai. They followed Bushido, the way of the warrior. Its virtues were loyalty, honor, discipline, duty, courage. A samurai fought with katana, yumi, bow, spear, and later matchlock guns. Their armor was both beautiful and functional, lacquered plates, silk cords, and iron masks. For centuries, the samurai shaped Japanese politics, culture, and identity. Knights, warriors of faith and feudal duty. Medieval Europe produced the armored knight, a symbol of chivalry, religion, and war. Knights fought in the Crusades, protected castles, and served kings and lords. They wore heavy plate armor, carried lances and swords, and charged on horseback with crushing force. The knight's world was one of loyalty, feuds, glory, and occasional tragedy. Mongols, masters of speed and strategy. Led by Genghis Khan, Mongol warriors built the largest land empire in history. Their strengths: horse archery, lightning-fast tactics, psychological warfare, and intelligence networks. Every Mongol warrior rode with skill from childhood. Their bows could pierce armor. Their mobility overwhelmed empires. They were feared, but also admired for discipline and innovation. The rise of gunpowder empires. Gunpowder changed everything. Ottoman janissaries, elite infantry trained from childhood, feared across Europe. Mughal warriors, masters of cavalry, artillery, and siege warfare. European musketeers who transformed formations and battlefield strategy. The warrior was evolving from hand-to-hand combat to organized firepower. Modern warriors, courage beyond swords. Today's warriors wear uniforms, not armor. Their weapons are guided by satellites, not stars. But one thing remains unchanged. A warrior is one who stands between danger and the innocent. Please like the video, subscribe to Savannah Chronicles, and share this documentary with someone who loves history.